Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Reagan, and today I'm going to be giving to you guys part 2 of my series, Why the F Aren't We Talking About This? This red spot on my chest, I don't know, my skin's really sensitive, please ignore it. I'm literally, you can just call me Jupiter at this point because I have a giant red spot on me. Anyways, my goal of today is to really not fearmonger, not give attention to big systems of power are trying to kill us and that type of mentality, but to just minimize the discrepancy between the forces at play that are above us, so to say, and the people, systems, etc., that benefit from us being disempowered and less in control of our own lives. I want to bridge the gap between that side of things and our actual understanding as individuals of the control we have over our time, energy, attention, and thoughts, and allow us to feel a greater sense of empowerment within our day-to-day life, and also to just make you guys think about some things that maybe you never really felt like you had permission to question, or things that might seem a little bit off about the way the world works that everyone kind of just accepts as normal. I'm someone who has never fucking just accepted things as that's just the way they are, that's just the way things are. I have never been of that ilk ever. And that's not to say that people who have are like, oh my god, I'm above them or anything like that. It's just a personality trait of mine is that I will always question it. There's no need for things to stay the exact same if they're not working to me. And today I want to bring attention to my general view, just common sense wise, and also things that I have learned and realized over the years regarding the food industry. And I'm not going to get super in depth. I'm not pulling up a bunch of research articles and blah, 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 blah. That's for my podcast, but which is not out yet, but it's coming out. But anyways, if you're new here, please subscribe, comment, like this video if it resonates with you, and check out some of my other ones. And if you are coming back, welcome back. Happy to have you. I don't want this to be a giant doom and gloom. Oh my god. I don't want you to walk away from this like every single thing in our food is shit and we're all gonna die, we're all gonna get cancer and blah, 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 blah. That's not what I want to do. I want to give you guys the tools and the awareness to understand that there are people that benefit from us not knowing about these things. So when it comes to the food industry, I've always been someone who was super anxious about my health, more or less, specifically like thinking I was going to get cancer when I was a kid or like just crazy shit like that. And when it came to my attention that maybe, just maybe, a lot of processed food is actually made with ingredients that are not good for you, and I started to question maybe we should actually know what the fuck is in our food. You go down a bit of a rabbit hole and you start to realize that the bigger corporations who own a majority of the processed food that you see in grocery stores actually don't have your best interest in mind. They directly profit from not your health, not you being a healthy person, not you buying good food with good ingredients. They profit from cutting as many corners as they can to squeeze within regulations, or maybe even pass through regulations that don't even exist, to maximize their profit and increase their output. They cut those corners until they are a literal fucking circle, I swear to God. And it's why ingredients in the US are way different than ingredients in other countries. Specifically, one account that I've followed for a while who does a lot of activism in this region of society is the Food Babe. And I hate that this has become a controversial thing. To me, the idea that we should be fully informed of what's in our food and we should have healthy ingredients in our food that don't cause us, chronic illnesses or contribute to even short-term illnesses or just any type of like poor health issues, that's not that this should be bipartisan. This is not something that's like a huge controversial thing. I feel like we all have a common desire to be healthy and to be fully informed of what's in our food and what we're feeding our families and what we're feeding our fucking kids. But for some reason, people seem to be going all crazy mode somewhat on the Food Babe for this. But she brings to attention a lot of really important things, which is, like I said, that our food ingredients and our food regulations, what the fuck is this hair doing? Our food regulations are very different from other countries. And I don't exactly have unwavering faith and trust in the FDA to perfectly do research on every single product that's not either lobbied or has some other motive for profit for their own benefit, and make sure that good food ingredients are in my foods. Unless it's certified organic and it goes through the whole fucking process of it, I'm hard pressed to just fully blindly trust. Like, yeah, all these food ingredients are great for us. And that's something that I think a lot of Americans specifically are starting to realize a bit more of, that maybe we don't actually want to just be buying foods without even knowing what's in them or not even thinking about what's in them. And maybe we don't want to be forced to not even question any of these things, because let me tell you, from a bigger perspective of humanity, in terms of greed, power, money, and control, these companies don't want you to know this shit. They don't want you to know that red 40 maybe isn't the best for you, or that they literally design food to be addictive so that you keep buying it because it makes them more money, or they literally design food to be visually appealing to like children so that they say, "Mom, oh my god, I want this cereal so bad," fully knowing that it's not good for them. That they intentionally use ingredients that were way cheaper but not good for our health, just to cut corners, just to save money, just to make profit. And that is something that plays to probably the worst aspect of human nature in terms of greed. And I have always hated that. I've always hated that. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to hear that and say, yeah, I really love that about us as a species. But it's it seems to be the source of all of this hierarchy in society and all of these discrepancies in power and disempowerment, poor health, negative health effects, and just a lack of free will and understanding. To me, to have full free will over our choices in whatever area of life, the food you're buying, the content you're consuming, the things you're being told by the media, or whatever system you want to say, or just anything in general, full free will comes from being fully aware and having full knowledge of whatever thing you're investing your time, money, energy, and attention into. And if a company is intentionally trying to get you to be confused or not question why they're doing things a certain way or not question the things they're spraying on your food, that to me is a massive fucking red flag. And I'm not going to get into the details again. This is a high level overview of my perspective and my experience, and also just common sense with this topic. If you look at the average American crowd, I'm not saying this as like shaming people, I'm not saying this as judgment or whatever, but most people don't exactly look super vital. They don't look very healthy. They don't look like they're super active. They don't look like they're really thriving physically, right? Maybe that's a hot take, but for me, going to festivals, going to even the freaking store, like anywhere, it seems like the average person just isn't, they don't look that healthy. You look at pictures of people from, you know, 1900s or whatever, even like the 70s and 80s, and they look way different. Like the average person looks way different. And to me, that is just common sense that like something's off here. Something is not in, like, I don't know what's going on. I Even though, as I just said, I have a really freaking good idea, but something's off. And it's not fair to us, and we deserve to be fully informed and fully empowered in the choices and decisions that we make about the things that we put into our bodies, specifically with food. And, this is why you get people buying organic. This is why you get people like growing their own food and sourcing their own food, or buying from local butcher shops and things like that. It's because we have we went so far down the line of convenience in terms of grocery stores and quick food and takeout and things like that, that I feel like we kind of went too far in putting our trust into those systems providing that food for us to just make it healthy, to just make it good, because why wouldn't you? And those systems or companies, again, not exactly incentivized to give you healthy food, but incentivized to give you cheap food for them and as much food as possible so they can maximize their profit, took control of that, and things just fucking went to shit, and now here we are trying to reverse all of it. There definitely is something to be said for people who go too far, I think, in the health route, especially in the food and what they're buying and perfectly sourcing everything, because yes, processed food is not good for your health. On a very general perspective, processed food is not as good for your health as naturally sourced, organic, free of pesticides food, etc. That's pretty common sense to me, not really a hot take. But it's also something to be said for feeling super stressed out about the food you buy and everything having to be non-toxic and organic and blah blah blah. And if it's not non-toxic organic, and if I eat a brownie that has vegetable oil in it, then I'm gonna fucking die tomorrow. There is 1000% of balance to be had, and balance is one of the core things that I want to bring to this channel, or like a core value of mine that I want to give to you guys through my videos in this channel, is bringing balance to these areas of your life. So when it comes to the food industry and everything I just talked about, be more mindful of the things in our food, question the companies who are creating it, look at the ingredients, actually figure out, what am I eating? Like, what does this do to my body? What are the long-term effects of this potentially? Like, what is going on? How, once you're fully informed of that, then you figure out how do you want to source it. And that's when balance comes into play, because when you realize, okay, yeah, maybe a bunch of these ingredients aren't good for me, but am I going to have a fucking aneurysm every time I walk in a Stop and Shop because I can't find something perfectly organic, or all the food's not organic, or like this thing has, I don't know, red 40 in it, and I'm gonna have like 3 chips of it, I'm gonna blah blah blah, I'm gonna die. You don't want to have that either, because the stress that your body feels can be even worse for you than if you just fucking ate the cookie with vegetable oil, or just like ate the Doritos. And that is like a core point that I want to make. So the goal of me saying that whole spiel is question, have free will to understand everything I just said about the factual benefit that companies have from making cheaper food with worse ingredients, and also being fully informed, make your own choices. You could choose to listen to everything I just said and be like, yeah, it's probably true, and then also not want to go fucking psycho mode buying fully organic whatever. I don't buy perfectly full organic food, but in having more awareness of which foods are, better, worse, ingredients, etc., I can make more mindful choices that make me feel like I actually have more free will over what I'm putting into my body, rather than just blindly trusting that everything I'm buying is just perfect. And why wouldn't these companies want the best for me? Right? That's the food spiel. My intention with this video is to give you guys a chance to feel more empowered in actually being aware of what's going on with our food industry, and give you permission to question things, and allow you guys to live a life as your most organic self, feeling confident in your health and your choices and what you're actually putting into your body. Again, I do not want to make this a big fear-mongering, scary, we're all going to die type of thing, because as I said, over-stressing about these things is also counterintuitive to the whole point of trying to be less toxic, because stress for your body, honestly, 9 times out of 10 is so much worse for you than if you just eat the things that are toxic or have bad ingredients, right? I know I already said all of this, but I want to come on and wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you got value from this episode, let me know in the comments, subscribe, like the video. If you have any questions, if you have any other opinions, any thoughts, I'd be happy to hear them, happy to share. The whole point of this video is just make you guys think and make you feel a bit more in control of your life choices and what's actually going on, rather than just being susceptible to the flow of life and the things that everyone else around you is telling you to not worry about or not think about, or maybe they're not even thinking about it at all themselves. So, no shade to be thrown, but go be your most organic selves. I will see you guys next week, and I hope you have the best day or night or evening, afternoon, ever. Bye, guys.